Hi everyone. I'd like to rant, if I could, for a moment about the masks that everybody's going around wearing to try to stop the spread of our germs in general, and particularly this coronavirus that is inflicting the whole world. But am I wrong? But I might be wrong. I don't know. I'm just stating things. You can check me up on it. But don't doctors, when they're we're all going around wearing these masks, and I'm not even sure if they're surgical masks that we get, the blue masks, paper, fabric, whatever they are, these masks, and I work in the automotive repair industry. I wear my mask like a reluctantly, like a good little boy, whenever I'm supposed to inside the building, whenever the masks are required, around customers, around people, but in a social distance when possible. But these masks, you get in people's cars, and these masks, they're all over the place. They're laying on the seat, they're in the glove box, they're on the steering wheel hanging, and it's like, I don't want to get in this car, and I don't want to get in here unless I have like a full body suit on, because these masks that we're wearing around are disposable. And you know what I end up seeing is I end up seeing them just laying all over the place. You go to the Walmart parking lot, you end up seeing them all over the parking lot, all over the ground. These masks that people breathe through, probably all day, probably for days and weeks without replacing them. I don't know, because honestly, I do wear my mask, my same mask, for honestly weeks because I wear as little as possible anyway. But you're supposed to get rid of them every single day, every use. And if you have the fabric ones, you're supposed to wash those every single day, is what you're supposed to do technically if you want them to be effective. But I just think of all the trash, all the garbage. Is it better or is it worse? Because in my view, if you don't know already, is I don't believe that everybody should be forced to wear masks. I don't believe it's healthy for us to wear a mask all the time unless you know you need it. Unless you're like a doctor or a surgeon or a nurse, when you're like dealing with people and you're breathing over their open chest in the surgical room, obviously you need full body protection there, both for you and the patient. But to be to go about looking at people like they're we look at each other like we're these germ factories just waiting to catch a disease from each other, which is true. We live with germs, we live with viruses. That's a fact of life. God designed us with an immune system to be able to combat that. And, we can get into, uh, of course, why God created viruses and things that are harmful to us on a microscopic level. But we're not going to get into that today. You can look that up somewhere else. Do your research on that. Uh, I would say it's because of the fall and sin of man. But the masks, they're everywhere. There's fabric masks. I reach into somebody's glove box to get something out, and there's like three of the fabric masks laying in there. And it's like, I don't want to touch these things. I don't even want to be breathing in this vehicle. I mean, you know how many germs are probably embedded? Germs, viruses, bacteria, whatever, fungi, uh, that might be embedded in those things. You're breathing through them and breathing out. And like I said, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a health specialist. I'm just seeing what I see. And I think it's quite disgusting that we've mandated all these masks for the population to wear. Everybody at the store, you have people. I drive by people on the road and they're wearing a mask in their car. It's like, in their own car. Uh, it's ridiculous, and it's dividing. It's dividing people. It's dividing people where there shouldn't be division. It's ridiculous. It's silly. It really is. And we live in a country where you can't force people to wear something, to wear a mask, to wear essentially to muzzle their face up with a covering, to force people to do that. That's unheard of. You can't do that, although it is happening. And it's all happening under the guise of we need to do it because people's lives are at risk. Really? Really? Are people, what's the leading cause of death in this country? Is it coronavirus? Is it even the flu? It's not the flu. It's, you can correct me if I'm wrong again here, it's cancer, heart disease. It's not coronavirus. And in fact, it's not bad for anybody that's under the age of 70, I think, is what I hear. Anyway, someone who's elderly obviously has an increased risk, but even now we understand it. We know it a lot better than we did 6 months ago. Yeah, 6 months ago. Back whenever we all started freaking out as a country over this thing. And everybody's going to get it. The President of the United States got this thing with all the protections that he has to avoid it. He gets tested on a whim. He gets a test. People around him on a whim get a test to see if they have it. If the President of the United States gets it, what makes you think you're not going to get it? Or that you're any better? Or that you wearing your mask is going to protect you? Or that even, washing your hands. Of course, that is very good. I'm not saying don't wash hands. You need to wash hands. That's very important. Wearing a mask, not so much. It's just, it creates a lot of waste. It creates, it's wasting resources for people who really need it, like surgeons and people in the healthcare profession, doctors, nurses. And it's just disgusting. It harbors germs. You're not protecting you, from what I understand. When you wear it, you might be protecting other people. I'll give you that. But you're not protecting you, and it's not good for your health to be wearing and breathing in through a mask all day long. And the other thing is, I have to point out, the fact that every time I see somebody wearing one of these crazy things, what are they doing? They put it on, and they're like, this mask is really nasty. I gotta warn you. See how nasty it is? It's probably because I wear it at work. But they're like touching their face, and they're doing this, and they're doing that. If you have a beard like I do, you're sticking your finger up there and itching your beard right around your mouth. Whenever, if you didn't have the stupid thing on, you probably wouldn't be touching your face. And if you were consciously thinking about it, like I do, especially during flu season, I avoid touching my face altogether. I wash my hands whenever I do. The mask it's not good. It is not good for you. Hashtag drop the mask. Hashtag walk away from the mask. It's disgusting, and it's not protecting you. It might be protecting other people, but on the grand scale of things, I'd say it's still not, because you got to deal with the waste. If you're in the profession where you're, like I am, working on people's personal vehicles, their masks are all over their car. I look at a mask and I look at it the same way I'd look at like a used Kleenex or tissue laying around in people's cars, which I see that during flu season, and too, whenever people are always getting sniffles and got the cold going around and all that kind of thing. It's disgusting. We need to stop it, walk away from it, use other measures that actually help. Wash your hands frequently. Avoid touching your face. Social distance when possible. But again, we freak out over that as well. Because, again, we're people. We get close to one another. We shake hands. We hug. We show affection to the ones we love. Social distancing, not a long-term solution. Wearing masks, Joe Biden, the leftists, the crazy liberals out there who want to force us to wear masks, not the solution. We need to get rid of it. We need to stop it. We need to stop freaking out over something that is not the leading cause of death, and there's a very high percentage of people who get it. They get sick with it. They don't get sick with it. They don't even know they have it. Whatever. They heal on their own. They get over it. Or if not, we have ways of treating it now more than we ever did. We need to stop it. And that's just my little rant I had to get off my chest today. Thank you. Have a great day. God bless.